Gonna wait. Oh, there we go.
My daughter has a. I just wanted to let you know my daughter has a piano lesson from 7 to 8, so I'm gonna kind of mute myself.
Yeah, no worries. Hi, everyone else.
Hi.
Hello.
How is everybody tonight?
Good.
Good, thanks.
You want to put the full screen? Like all the screens
Oh,
on?
yeah.
Perfect. There's Jen. I was just gonna say we're waiting for Jen, but I see her. It looks like everybody is here this week, so I will just say welcome to Julie and Finn. They weren't here last week, but they are here this week, so welcome. And let's get started. Actually, sorry, let me introduce myself quickly since you weren't here. How rude of me not to introduce myself. So I am one of the Jens. There will be 2 Jens. You guys get the super confusing class. So I am Jen and I am doing my apprenticeship. And then Jen, our head trainer, is also one of the instructors. And she will also be here just kind of listening, filling in if I miss anything. And then she might be teaching some sections as well. But that is who we are. And then I have Madhvi here. Madhvi, if you want to wave.
Hi.
Madhvi is also doing her apprenticeship. She's just a little bit newer, so she is just assisting with the class right now. If we ever do get to be in person, I won't say anything else because I don't want to jinx it.
Fingers crossed.
If we do ever get to be in person, Madhvi will be assisting with your puppies. So yeah. So this week we are going to be going over our basics. So like our sit, our down, stuff like that. I'm sure most of you guys have already taught your puppies the sit, the down, as it's obviously one of the most common things that people will teach their dogs when they get them. But we'll just go over it quickly still, and we'll go over it, how we do it, how we teach it, and why we teach it the way we do. Before I get into all of that, I just want to do just a quick little review from last week, especially for Julie, just the really quick. In this class, we have 2 things that we call markers. So our markers can either be our yes word or our clickers. So this is our clicker. It just makes a click sound, pretty straightforward. And I will be using one or the other in class just to kind of show how to use them. And then just a quick review for treats. Again, if you guys are able to use kibble since we're at home and there's less distractions, please do give that a shot. If not, and you need more of a high value treat, then feel free to do that. Like Jen said last week, we can always take some of that treat dust. So some of the like beef or chicken and sprinkle it over top of our kibble. And usually that makes it a little bit more appealing. And then I just want to go over something that we like to call a gotcha. So a gotcha is something that we won't be using online, but it's still something good for you guys to practice, especially when we get into doing stuff like our recall week and our loose leash walking week. So a gotcha is where we simply want to walk up to our puppies and we want to put a treat in front of their nose. I'll grab Finn here to help me demonstrate. So I've changed his name to Finn just for our new guest tonight. This is usually Fido, but tonight he is Finn. So we will take a treat and we will go up to our puppy and we will, hang on, and we will grab their collar and we will say gotcha. So this just helps our puppies when we are trying to catch them. Let's say we're at the dog park or we are in person in class and our puppies are playing. If we ever need to get our puppies, if we ever need to intervene, if they're getting a little too excited, if someone's getting a little nippy, or if any of you feel uncomfortable for any reason and you want to call a gotcha, then we can do that. So I just want to make sure that we go over that. So again, simply you're just walking up to your puppy with that treat, putting it in front of their nose, grabbing their collar and saying gotcha. So that just helps us catch them. It helps them kind of associate it with good things. We don't want them always seeing us coming at them. Let's say if they're at the dog park and we want to, it's time to go home. We don't want to be chasing them around the dog park for hours, obviously. When it's time to go, it's time to go. So that gotcha can help us walk up to them and grab them a little bit quicker. So now I will move on to our Find It. So Find It is a fun little game that we can play with our puppies. And it's something that we can do whether we're at home, just kind of training. We can do it on walks. Pretty much we can do it whenever. The goal for Find It is to start really easy as we do with everything else. And then the goal is to kind of use our environment to make it a little bit trickier. So we want to be able to use leaf piles. Right now, like snow banks, we can use grass, kind of like a snuffle mat. And a Find It simply is where we're going to, again, walk up to our puppy with a treat, and then we're just going to simply drop it in front of their face. The reason, I know this sounds very simple, but the reason that we do it right in front of them is because we want to set them up for success. We want to start really easy. We want to make sure that they are going to find that treat, eat that treat, which is going to be their reward as well. So we don't have to reward them for getting that Find It because the Find It will be the reward. So we are going to try this in a few minutes. I think Jen, my demo dog, just walked away. Madhvi, do you have your dogs by any chance near you? One moment, we're just gonna find a demo dog for you here. Oh, and Jen's back. Let's see if Madhvi, so Jen, I'm gonna get Madhvi to demonstrate to Find It, but if Ollie and Benji are being tricky, then I might need you to step in with Xavier and Pepper.
Did you want me to do it or did you want Jen to do it?
If you can give it a
Okay.
shot.
Okay. I'm just gonna bear with me while I have to go get the treats after I didn't get any. One sec.
You know what? I'll get Jen to do this one, but go
Okay,
get
sure.
treats and I'll get you to do something else later. All right, so let's get Jen. Sorry about that. Let's get Jen to show you guys the Find It.
Find it. Nice and simple. Find it. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So Jen's just dropping that treat right in front of Xavier, and Xavier is bending down to grab that treat. If that is too easy for your puppies, which hopefully it is,
Find it. Yes.
you guys can start
Find it.
tossing it a little bit farther. But again, we don't want to toss it too far at first because we want to make sure that they are finding it. Perfect. And this just helps them tap into that natural scavenging ability that they have. It helps them
Find it.
start to use that nose a little bit more, which helps to burn a lot of that brain energy, which is very helpful for you guys so they're not so wired. Perfect. Oh, we got a Pepper Find It too.
Find it. Yes. Find it. Yes.
So if you guys want to grab your puppies, hopefully they're nearby, they're not too far. And if you guys want to give this a shot, again, just we're gonna drop the treat, say Find It, and let them find it. If they don't find the treat at first, we don't want to point exactly to where the treat is, but we do want to kind of give them a little bit of a general area. So if the treat, let's say, is on the floor here, we kind of want to show them the general area, but we don't want to point exactly where the treat is because we do want them to engage that nose of theirs. How's everybody's find it going? It's good? Good? Yeah? Perfect. Awesome. All right. Let's try a couple where we're kind of just, instead of dropping it right in front of their face, we'll just toss it a little bit, just so they're having to go a little bit farther. We'll do like 2 of those, let's say. Perfect. So this one's really good. This game can be really good for those little ankle biters that come at you. So one of our other trainers, Megan, has a puppy named Gypsy. I'm going to put the video of her and Gypsy that I'm talking about in the group tonight. But basically, Gypsy was running at Megan full force, about to grab her ankle, and Megan broke into a find it, and it completely snapped Gypsy out of that I'm going to attack your ankles mode and into that working mode, which obviously is very nice for our ankles. So it's just a little tip if you guys ever have those ankle biters, try and do a find it and get them to chase that treat rather than your feet. So we can move on to our touch now. So our touch also is another easy game that we can do with our puppies. It's the start of target training, which is all the fun stuff that we get to do with our puppies later on. But basically a touch is where we want our puppies to check in with us. So we're going to hold our hand out in front of their nose. Again, I will grab my puppy here. So we're going to put our hand out in front of their nose, and we're just going to wait for them to touch our hand. So puppies are naturally curious, so we don't really need a lure for this. If you're absolutely struggling and your puppy's not interested in your hand, you can take a treat and kind of rub it on your hand so that it smells a little bit like their food. But naturally, they should want to check out your hand if you're holding it out. So simply, just hold your hand out, wait for them to touch, and you're going to say yes. We don't want to say that touch word yet. Right, Jen? We don't want to add touch yet? Yeah? Okay, just want to make sure. So we don't want to add.
No, that's correct.
Perfect. We don't want to add that touch word yet. We want to make sure that they know to, I guess, boop our hand or touch our hand before we add in that command. So let's give that a shot. Let's try some touches. So simply, again, just hand out, nose to hand. Sometimes, yep, perfect. Thank you, Jen, for that lovely demonstration with Xavier.
Yes.
And yeah, I forgot to mention actually, yes, we do want to add our marker. So as soon as that nose touches your hand, you're going to add that marker, so that yes or that click, and then you're going to treat. Sometimes some puppies have trouble with the flat hand because they think you're asking them to do paw or shake. So you can always try and do like a fist bump, and that usually tends to help get their nose onto your hand. Good. Someone's excited. Good. How's that touch going? Going good? Yeah, I see nodding. Good. Good. Nodding is good. Perfect. All right. So yeah, we want to start with that hand pretty close to their nose just to make sure they're successful, but then we can start moving it a little bit further away and asking for that touch a little bit farther. And then next week, we will start to add in movement. But if they're doing really well during this week and they're consistently giving you that touch close up, then I would encourage you to move your hand back, start asking for those touches a little bit farther back. So, yeah, good. Jen's just doing an example of that, but Xavier's down for the count.
Yes.
When we do start adding in that movement next week, like Jen just did with Pepper, when you start adding that movement, we can start we'll start asking for touches side to side, but we can also start adding height in. So it's really good for those dogs that like to jump up. It gives them that outlet of jumping, but it's for a constructive, a good
Like
purpose.
that?
Exactly. Rather than jumping up to say bite your arm, they're jumping up to just touch your hand. All right, so we'll move on to sit. Again, I know you guys have probably all taught your puppy sit, but I'll just kind of go over our way quickly, and we'll just practice that a little bit. And I'll give you guys a challenge of doing it how we do it. So what I mean by that is when we teach sit or really any new behavior, just like with touch, I said we don't want to add that command touch in yet. So just the same, we don't want to add that word sit in yet. So puppies learn in snapshots, like I said last week, or like pictures. So we don't always want to say sit and do the hand signal. We don't always want to do the hand signal only, and we don't always want to say sit only. We want to kind of mix it up, especially at the beginning. We want to make sure that our puppies know that sit means sit, the hand signal means sit, as well as the hand signal and sit together means sit. So we want to start by not using that sit word, which is what I will challenge you guys with this week. So when we do teach sit, we do teach just a flat palm raised up to the sky, so that when our hand goes up, our puppies' heads will kind of go up and their bum will go down. Jen looks like she's getting ready to do that demonstration.
Here.
Perfect.
Yes.
Good job. Yeah, so dogs speak in body language. They obviously don't speak like we do with our words. So when we add the hand signal, it's going to help them be a little bit less confused at first because we're speaking in their language. And then it can also be really good for teaching them patience. So obviously, if we are crossing the road, we'll learn the wait command a little bit later in the recall week. But before we cross the road, sit can be really good for that waiting before we go across the road. It can be really good if you're in the kitchen cooking and you want them to sit and kind of do their own thing off to the side. Again, we'll learn another exercise called On Your Place. That is basically just where they go to their place, but sit can also be a great example of that. So what I want to do is get you guys to practice your sit. So if you guys have been doing it with a different hand signal and your puppy knows that hand signal, I would encourage you to use whatever you've been using just for consistency. But if you haven't been, then what we do is just that flat palm up to the sky. So let's give a couple sits a try, but we're going to make sure that we're not saying that sit word. So we're simply just going to use the hand signal, and then we're going to say yes once that bum touches the floor. Mm-hmm.
Is everyone getting a sit? Yes, okay, good. Excellent. Can't see everybody's puppies, so I just want to make sure everyone's doing okay.
Mine's just lying down.
She says it's my first class. I'm already tired. Oh, cutie.
Perfect. All right. If everybody has gotten a couple sits, we will break into a play right now. Just like Finn is doing, actually. That's perfect. So if you guys have either a tug toy or just any toy that your puppy likes, really, I encourage you guys to play with them right now. And yeah, we'll just have a little bit of a play break. Normally what we would do in class is we would obviously let the puppies play together, but we can't do that right now. So you guys are gonna have to be your puppy friends for your puppies. So we'll just play with them a couple minutes here. Good. Perfect. Good. I'm glad Finn likes toys. Normally our puppies in class don't like to play, but I'm glad he likes to play. Oh wow, Bernie's big. Oh my God.
He's really big.
He grew real quick in a week. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Keeps shooting up on us, to say the least.
Perfect. We'll just play a little bit longer and then we'll move on.
Play breaks in the middle of training are so important. Makes the training fun, motivating, helps with teaching self-control, especially if you're doing tug, because your dog's got to release, they've got to settle, they get the tug back. So it's a really good game for self-control.
Absolutely.
Hi, cutie.
Hi, Rico.
Actually, I have one question for you guys. So
Yeah.
Finn does like tug. He kind of has liked it since he came home. He's gentle, like we kind of use that time to touch his paws, touch his tail, whatever. But he doesn't know how to drop it. He doesn't let it go ever.
So the best way to teach them to stop, to drop the toy is actually just to disengage the play. And as soon as he opens his mouth because the game stopped, then you're actually going to say yes, pick up the toy and keep playing again. So you're marking the moment that he releases and then you re-engage. You can use food. So often what I used to do a lot of the time is I would tug and then trade for a toy and then go back to tug. But the problem that I find is that often, especially until they learn how valuable the game of tug is for them, often I lose interest in the pup because now they just want the food. And what I really want to do is tug. So the other alternative to that, if you find that he's not dropping it easily, usually once we stop playing, they do loosen up or drop so that you can re-engage again. But if you find that that's not happening, it's not flowing smoothly, then I would do tug for tug. So, and just make the other one really exciting, wiggle it. And as soon as he drops that one, you're going to say yes. So you're using your mark word to acknowledge, yes, you dropped it. That's what I'm looking for. Here's the tug, the other tug. And then you can go back and forth. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks.
Yeah, we will be working on our, so we have a week on resource guarding that is in a couple weeks, and we'll be working on that leave it and take it. So giving up a toy, giving up food and taking it back. But obviously that's a really good place to start because if he's doing it now, why not start now? All right, so let's put that tug just to the side for now because we'll have to do another play break later on just to reward them for their hard work. But we'll move into our down. So our down, similar to our sit, like I said, we want to trick you guys, not trick you guys, but we want to make it harder for you guys and not use that that verbal cue, that down. So down is really good. Like I said, we'll be teaching you an exercise called On Your Place. We'll probably get to do some later tonight. And basically, it's good for just getting them to lay down, relax, kind of do their own thing, just go hang out. So with down, we like to ask for that sit before we ask for that down. Just when we're starting, when we get a little bit more advanced, then we'll ask for that down right away. But we like to ask for that sit first. So with our down, we're going to ask for that sit. So palm up, and then the down is just the opposite. So palm down to the floor. When we're asking for our down, sometimes I find puppies that are having a little bit of trouble going down. People tend to, let me just grab him here. People tend to pull their hand away from the puppy, thinking it's kind of like pulling them down, but that actually gets them to crawl and follow that hand, which we don't want to do. So what we want to do is we want to push our hand, if they're struggling, into their chest. So it'll push them back and cause them to kind of slide their feet out and then go into that down. I'm sure you guys have been working on your down, so hopefully we won't have that problem, but just a little tip, if they are having trouble going down, we want to push our hand into their chest rather than pulling it away. So let's see a couple of those downs. So again, no verbal, just the hand signal, either the flat palm down or whatever you guys have been doing so far with your puppies, just because we don't want to confuse them. Consistency is key. Good job. Good. Good job, Bernie. Oh, Finn's down. Oh, oh, Bernie's groaning as he goes down, I see.
Sorry to disappear.
No, I know, I wondered where you went.
I didn't realize my laptop wasn't plugged in.
Oh.
So the battery just died.
Oh, apparently Bernie is verbally objecting to doing down.
Oh, Bernie.
Come here.
How's Miss Lottie doing with her downs? Is she doing good?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. And how is Rico?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's really tired and really wants to just have a nap, but he's doing okay.
You're right. I know, I find it's either they get zoomies at this hour, so they're, you know, doing circles, or they're completely ready for bed, done. All right. So,
Sorry, can I ask,
oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
sorry, can I ask just about the hand signals?
Yeah,
Like,
of
what-
course. Yeah.
Why do we need to do both? So we didn't know about the hand signals, so we've taught everything with just the commands. But so what's the purpose of the hand signals as well, or instead of, or?
Like compared, sorry. So you taught just the verbal?
Yeah, because we didn't know about the hand signals. So I mean,
Yeah.
she can already sit and lie or down and stand, but we don't do hand signals with those. So do we need to add them now? Like, what's the purpose of the hand signal then?
So I will add a little bit from what I would say, and then Jen, feel free to top up what I say. But the example I like to use, just because I went through it, is so when my puppy that just previously passed, when she went deaf, I could tell her to sit, you know, all I want, and she'd be like, I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand, right? So those hand signals were really helpful with that. But again, That's what I would add, but Jen, I'm sure you have more to add to that.
Sure. Well, generally, we do typically start with hand signals over verbal signals, just because dogs are body language communicators, so it's a little bit easier for them. But aside from that, just lifelong, there's different reasons why you may need a hand signal over verbal communication. Could be, as Jen said, it could be due to aging, it could just be due to health, or it could be due to environment. So it is good to have both. So even my recalls, I have a verbal recall, obviously I have a whistle recall, but I also have a hand signal recall. So in the event that we're in a construction zone and it's not as easy for my dog to hear me, but they're looking my direction, I can give them the recall signal from a distance. That would be the main purpose. So you have more communication with your pup.
Okay.
Because remember, they speak in body language. They don't speak in English. So,
So it's not too late to add in those hand signals then?
absolutely not. No, not at all. In fact, typically it's harder to get the verbal signal. So the verbal cue. So the fact that you have a verbal cue that works really well, that's brilliant. So now all you need to do is add the hand signal, and you can have, and you'll have both.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
It's actually a good question. I've never been asked that, so that was good for both of us. All right. So I'll wait for Jen to come back because she just left, but
I'm still
oh, okay. I'll need you for this next part. But we're going to talk about appropriate puppy play. So I'll get you to add on again. I'll do a little bit and then I'll just get Jen to add on. Just she's been doing it longer, so she's she's a little more knowledgeable. But so puppy play. Again, typically when we're in this space doing class, we would be having the puppies play together. So it would actually be a little bit easier for you guys to kind of witness this. But we'll go over it anyway, because it is good for you guys to learn, good for you guys to know what to look out for. If you guys are ever taking them to the dog park or just playing with other puppies, it's good to know kind of what to look for, what body signals, what or body language they're showing. Just in case, you know, your puppy is trying to communicate, hey, I don't feel so comfortable, or hey, I don't really want to play with you, you know, kind of how to help them out, I guess. Or if anything, hopefully this never happens, but if you are able to kind of recognize a warning sign of, you know, either a fight or a bite or anything like that, you guys can hopefully step in before anything happens and kind of break it up. So ideally with puppy play, we want to make sure that there's really soft, wiggly bodies. So we don't want to see any freezing or any tenseness. We want to see just happy, wiggly bodies, like I said. So, and then we want to see that give and take. So we want to see I chase you, you chase me, or really there's different play styles. Not everybody likes to be chased. Not everybody likes to do the chasing. There's, you know, obviously somebody that likes to wrestle, somebody that whatever, but we do want to see that back and forth. So as long as somebody isn't always chasing one dog and that dog is, you know, tail tucked trying to get away, then we're usually okay. So we do want to see that back and forth, that everybody's happy and playing along with each other. When we are playing with our puppies, actually, no, you know what, Jen, I'll get you to step in before, because I'm going to talk about people playing with their puppies, but first add on to the dogs playing with dogs.
Yeah, so yeah, Jen kind of covered it all. You're looking to prevent tension from arising, right? So usually in a dog park, most of the fights that we see occurring can definitely be prevented. So when your pup is interacting with other dogs, it's really important that you are engaged with your dog. And that's one of the reasons we do the gotchas. And we want you to practice those gotchas on a daily basis so that your pup is used to having their collar grabbed. They're used to be interrupted in the middle of play, so that in the event that you see something happening in the area, you see dogs that aren't relaxed, they don't have those soft wiggly bodies, it's easy for you to communicate with your dog and you're nearby. So things like that, we want to make sure that our pups are having fun, and that there's no one hiding. So once we get someone who's hiding, we want to make sure that they have the ability to come out when they want to, and in a dog park that would probably be a good time to go home. But early on, puppies will often hide, and that's okay. We don't need to worry about that. We don't want to force them into a play session, but we want to make sure they have space. So we also want to make sure that other dogs aren't coming into that that little area of protection for them. So it's just like Jen said, looking for that give and take. I'm on top, you're on top, that kind of thing, and that you can actually interrupt your pup. So you should be able to get your dog's attention, and that's what the importance of play. And that's another reason why it's really important to play while you're training, so that both come together, so that even in the middle of play, they can get commands, they can get communication from us.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jen.
So I'm just going to add just a little bit to that, just on when you guys are playing with your puppies, just kind of a little bit of tips. Sometimes if you notice that your puppy is a little bit more of that like rough housing play, they like to kind of be a little bit rougher. I find that sometimes I'm careful how I word this. Pushing them gently. We don't want to obviously shove our dogs, but kind of giving them a little push can get them excited, get them into playing with us a little bit more, and it gives them the outlet of that little bit rougher play without obviously, you know. Don't shove your puppies. And then if we're playing tug with them, we want to make sure that we are going back and forth, so like side to side. As Jen I think mentioned last week, we don't want to go up and down just because it's not a natural movement for their neck. So we want to make sure that we're going side to side with our puppies. And then if you find that your puppy tends to jump up at the toy, so like let's say we're, oh, sorry, we just lost someone. She's coming back in. Hold on. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right, now she's back. If you find that you're playing tug or you're playing with your puppy and they like to jump up or they like to kind of bite at your arm, a tip would be kind of to keep it as low as you can. So that they're not jumping up and you don't have puppy teeth flying at you, flying everywhere in the air. So keeping it low, keeping it close to the ground, back and forth. Just a few little tips for you there. In terms
And
of
if during tug, if your pup starts to move up the tug, disengage. So take your hands off and let the toy fall. It's really important for them to become mindful of where your hands are. So typically we might get grabbing, we might get a pup that's escalated and they're coming closer to your hand, simply because it's just that social aspect. They're coming closer to you to play, but that could result in a hand grab. Plus we would really do want our dogs to be mindful of where their mouths are. So if you do have that escalation up the tug, then immediately drop your hand. So it's the same as teaching your pup to take a break in between the tug so that you can play again, is always just to stop playing and then reboot, start over again.
Yeah, that was a good point. So in the package that I sent, so like the PDF that I sent you guys, the like homework class information, that big package, in the week 1 homework, there is something that is called charge attention reinforcer and charge name. So those simply just mean, so I'll start with charging the name. So charging the name simply just means we want our puppies to know their name and we don't want them to tune it out. So, but we do want them to know it. So simply all we're going to do is we're just going to say their name and then we're going to treat. So for example, if Jen was doing it with Pepper, she would say Pepper and then treat. Actually, Jen, do you want to demonstrate? Instead of me explaining what you would do, would you like to?
Oh, Pepper has disappeared. So
Oh, maybe not. Maybe Madhvi, do you have your puppies near you by any chance?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
do you have Ollie or Benji?
I have Ollie.
Okay, so you're simply just gonna say, I was gonna say Benji, say Ollie, and then give him a treat when he looks at you. That's it.
Okay.
So we'll get Madhvi to demonstrate here. So yeah, simply you're just gonna say your puppy's name. Once they look up at you, you're gonna give them a treat, and that is how you charge their name. You just wanna make sure that they know their name. Oh, hello.
He does know his name. Come here. Let's try here. Ollie.
Oh,
This
good
This is
boy.
his first time assisting.
Yeah, this is his first time. He just sees a treat bag, so he doesn't really, oh my God, here comes the other one. Benji, Benji, yes,
Yes. Good job.
good boy.
Perfect.
Yes.
So yeah, you guys just throughout the week, it doesn't have to be anytime specific, but a couple times during the day throughout this upcoming week, I want you guys to practice saying their name and giving them that treat. I'm sure most of them know their name by now, but it doesn't hurt to practice. So that is charging the name, just treat name, treat name, treat name. And then charging the reinforcer is the same thing, but with a sound that gets their attention. So as silly as it sounds, when I am walking a puppy and I want their attention, let's say they are sniffing a rock, I don't know, they're sniffing something and I want them to come with me. I sound silly, but I'll go, "Bop, bop, 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 bop," and I'll do that. So it gets them to kind of look at me, gets their attention, and then they'll come walk with me. So charging the reinforcer is just any sound. It can be clapping. It can be like
He
the
sound.
kiss noise. It can be.
There we go. There's Xavier.
There you go. See, Xavier's like, what? I know I naturally do like a click sound. I work with horses as well, so that just naturally comes for me, like that noise. It can literally be any noise, just something to get their attention, and it's the same idea. You're just gonna make that noise, and then when they look at you, give them the treat noise, treat noise, treat noise. So
A good way to practice that is to toss a treat, so kind of like a find it treat away. And then while they're looking away, you introduce the sound.
oh, he's got a good sniff, so this is a good example.
Yes. Good job. And then I'm just going to be patient until he does turn. And once he gets the idea that I make that kissy sound, he turns, I get the treat, it'll get faster and faster every time.
Yeah. Perfect. And then obviously later in the recall week, we'll work on, the recall, all that. But this is just something in the meantime. It's just an added sound to help us get our puppy's attention.
And truthfully, this is a really good start for a recall, especially the name one, because even if your pup knows their name, they're not used to you saying it and rewarding it. So I really like to start a solid recall with name only. And one of the reasons why I do that is to make sure that I have a good response from my pup before I actually use that magical word come, because that magical word is a very important one. And I want to make sure that I don't make any mistakes when I train my dog as to what that word means. So I find that if I start with a just using their name and a kissy sound, and I'll actually also teach a whisper recall with just their names. So I just start saying their name quietly, and I reinforce them responding to just hearing my name quietly, so that when I actually start practicing a full recall with the come, it's so easy because they're so used to being so in tune to the smallest little sound that I make. So the full recall comes a lot easier. I shouldn't say super easy, but a lot easier.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if you guys have either a blanket, a towel, your dog's bed, anything that you're okay with them laying down on. Preferably something flat, just so it's easy for them to get on and off. But if you guys have a blanket, towel, their bed, anything, if you guys want to go grab that right now, and then we'll start working on the on your place exercise. So yeah, if you guys want to go grab that. Perfect. Oh, Finn's eating his bed.
And I do have Xavier here, so he'll work with me. Anything for food.
I'm just watching Finn. He's having a ball.
Aw.
This is like his zoomy moments. I can feel it's coming.
Yeah, it's really funny. I honestly do find at this time, and then we have another class that starts at 8:15. I find it's either the puppies are completely wired and have zoomies and are just running around, or they're like conked out, don't want to wake up. Oh, he's under the couch.
That overtired. My brain is exhausted, but I've got some like extra energy that I don't know what to do with.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to when he cannot fit under the couch.
How flat can he get?
Seriously.
You think about it, under the couch is such a cozy place to be. So actually, since you said that, I'm just going to give you your first practical example of how you can use that touch. Is practice getting him to come out from under the couch with touch, because it's motivating, it's fun, it's his choice. He only gets rewarded after he comes out for the touch. So it's not bribery. You're not saying, hey, please come under the couch because I've got food. You're saying, come out from under the couch, I've got something fun to play. And then he gets a treat. And you can even proactively practice tossing a kibble under the couch, and then practice getting him to come out for the touch. Get a couple of touches, then toss another treat. So it's just really good practice so that you're not in that situation where you feel like, oh, he's under the couch and I can't get him. This way he's motivated to come out easily for you. So that's your first practical example of how you can use touch. One of my favorite behaviors.
Yeah, that's good, because I've been calling the kids to say, please help me lift the couch.
Target training is such a great thing to have, for a pup to have, a good skill for your pup to have, because they can do so many cool things with target training. Plus we can move them around so very easily.
Exactly. All right, so looks like everybody's back. Does everybody have something for their puppies to lay on? Yeah. All right. Awesome. Okay. So we are going to do On Your Place. So On Your Place is something that hopefully we will get to do at the end of each class every week. Just it helps to end the class on a nice calm note, so that hopefully they're burning a little bit more of that brain energy before they settle in for the night. So with most of the training, we do that luring. So again, with a treat in the hand. On Your Place is where we do shaping. So shaping, I kind of mentioned it last week with a very muddled explanation, but shaping simply is where we want them to think for themselves. So we want them to accomplish a goal that we have in mind without us telling them what that goal is. So we are going to mark each step that they take towards that end goal. So with On Your Place, the end goal is for them to be calmly laying on their bed with their hip up and just kind of hanging out, relaxing. So the way that we start On Your Place, just like Jen and Xavier are here, is we want to put our puppies right in front of their place. So that bed, that towel, that mat, whatever it may be, we want to put them right in front of it and just stand there. It sounds silly, but we really do want to not give them any cues for this. We want them to think it through. So we want them to think, okay, she's standing there or he's standing there. She's looking at this thing. What do they want me to do? And we want them to put their paw on the mat. Once they put that paw on the mat, or 2 paws, maybe even all 4 paws at first, every puppy is different. Whatever that first step towards getting onto that mat is, we're going to reward, and we're going to say yes. We're not going to say anything else. We're solely just, the only words we're going to say are yes, and we're going to reward. The key with the rewards for this is we only give the reward, so that treat, on the mat itself. So just like Jen just did with Xavier. Jen, do you mind doing that again?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So just like Jen just did, Xavier is sitting on that mat. So she's saying, yes, you're doing such a good job. That's what I want you to do. And I'm going to put the treat on the mat so that everything good comes from the mat. We want them to think, I really love this spot. This is my happy spot. This is my happy place. Yeah, good with Bernie. That's awesome. I just saw that. yeah, so we want to make sure we're putting the treats on the mat and not just giving them to their mouth. Each step that they do, we're going to reward, like I said. So again, 1 paw, 2 paws, 4 paws. Looks like with Bernie, it's all 4 paws, which is awesome. So once they have consistently given you, I'll use Bernie as an example, just because he's doing a great job. Once he consistently gives you those all 4 paws on the mat, we're going to wait a beat. So we're gonna let him, oh, and he's doing, good boy. He beat me to it. So I was just gonna say, wait for that next step. So once they're consistently doing one step, so once they're consistently putting all 4 paws on the mat, or that 1 paw, 2 paws, 3 paws, then we're gonna wait a beat and we're gonna see what they do next. So if Xavier put 1 paw on the mat for, let's say, 5 times, and Jen rewarded those 5 times, then that 6th time, so that next time, he's going to put 1 foot on the mat and Jen's not going to do anything. She's just going to wait it out. Then once he sees that he's not getting a reward, he's going to start thinking, hang on, she really liked when I did that 1 paw. So now what is she waiting for? Because I'm doing that 1 paw. So what's next? Then hopefully he'll do his 2nd paw, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let's try and give that a shot if we're not already, and see how that goes. So simply just walk over to their place. I didn't say this, but it might be easier on a leash. You don't have to do it on a leash. If they're happy to stay with you, then that's fine too. Oh, now Bernie's excited. But yeah, so we're just gonna simply walk over to that place and just see what they do. If they, make a move towards going onto that mat, that's fantastic. And we're gonna say yes and reward to the mat.
Just letting you know that Finn is conked out asleep.
Good thing we have this recorded. You can do it later. An hour is a really long time for a puppy to train, so don't worry about that at all. And it's late.
One thing I will say, I'm noticing with Bernie, I will mention before he does it again. So we want to make sure that we're teaching our puppies to stay on their mat as long as we ask them to, if that makes sense. So we don't want him to just walk off. So what we're gonna do when we, oh yay! Perfect, good boy.
Yay.
Oh, what a good boy. Lots of treats for him. So before he walks off, genius, you're right. I see that. So before he walks off himself, we want to use the words all done or okay, whatever your cue is for him to get off that mat. So if you guys are doing this and you see that your puppy is starting to get frustrated, they're starting to kind of fidget a little bit and they look like they want to walk off the mat, we want to say all done before they walk off themselves. So we want to make sure that we are the ones saying, okay, it's okay for you to leave this mat. I'll also say, while you are doing this, especially right at the beginning, do it in little breaks. So make sure you are inserting that all done occasionally. So if they're doing really, oh, almost that down. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, good boy. Perfect. Right now he's doing a very,
Yeah.
there, that's perfect. So what I was waiting for was him to roll that hip like he just did. That's exactly what I was gonna say. So he was laying square with all 4 legs kind of laying forward, and then he twisted that bum. Let's see if he does it again. Right now he looks very square. If you guys look at him, oh, and he got up. That's okay.
Rebooting, yeah. It's gonna fall.
Good. Yeah, let's see if that hip goes up. Good, wait him out, good job. Yeah, good. It honestly is just a waiting game. Just keep, yeah, he's so stubborn. Yeah, it's just a waiting game. So yeah, sorry. So once while we wait for Bernie's hip to go up, I got distracted there. We do want to add those little breaks in so that they're not getting frustrated. So if they're doing sit consistently every time and they're doing really well with that, then we might throw in a all done, take them off their place, and then just bring them back and kind of reset from start. And then we'll start again. We'll stand in front of their place. We'll see what behavior they give us, and we'll see how far we can get. Don't be discouraged if you guys don't get that down right away. Honestly, this can take a long time, or it can be really quick. It depends on your puppy. Jen, you
One suggestion that I have is to make sure your treats are behind your back or on a counter somewhere, so that they're not right in front of your pup's nose, because it will make it harder for them to relax, which is what that hip up means, is that they're actually starting to relax. They're getting calm, and instead of having that square I'm ready to go down, they have that, all right, I'm relaxed and I'm ready to rest here for a while down.
Yeah. Okay.
And when you get it, jackpot.
Yes. So like Jen said, when you do, as you saw, when I saw Bernie lay down, I, had a big party. I was all excited. So that's what we want to do. When they do get each step closer towards that laying down with that hip up, just like he did. Yay, Bernie. So when we do get a step towards what the end goal that we want to have a big party for them, and we want a jackpot, like we said, which is just more than one treat. We still want to do it one treat at a time, but we do want to do, let's say, 2 or 3 treats rather than just one, just to let them know, hey, that's a really exciting behavior you just did. I'm very proud of you. Good job. Or as we like to say, a really expensive behavior. So I like to compare the different behaviors in this class like school. So a sit, a down, a find, a touch, those are all relatively simple behaviors, kind of like kindergarten. When we get into the later weeks, when we get into that recall, when we get into doing stuff with distractions, so we'll do recall with like off of distractions. When we do that, that's what I like to call university behaviors, because they're expensive behaviors. They're harder for our puppies to do. So they may require more treats, higher value treats, and bigger praise. So how are our puppies doing? How is Mr. Rico doing? Is he doing good, or is he kind of asleep on us?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see him, but he's down. He's done for the day.
Down
Yeah.
for- Perfect. And how is
So we're doing a good job.
He did
and
make
how
a bunch
is
of snacks.
Miss Lottie doing? Is Lottie okay, or is she sleeping too?
Yeah, Lottie's doing pretty well. I'm not sure if you can see her there, but yeah, she's not down, but she's pretty wired. So
Oh, she's pretty wired. She's got the puppy zoomies.
Yeah.
Yes. So this would be a challenging time for her to do it. But so the fact that you're having success is pretty good. Awesome.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. That was
Yeah.
the last thing I was going to say. That's perfect. Jen beat me to it. It is easier to do this when they're tired, obviously, because if someone, I like to say, if I went to say Canada's Wonderland and I'm excited to ride the roller coasters, but someone says, you know what, I need you to sit down on the ground and wait 10 minutes before you go on a roller coaster. I'm obviously going to be really excited and kind of like buzzing, and I'm going to want to go. So asking for them to do a calm, relaxed down while they're buzzing and excited is a very tricky thing. Yeah. Right. So it is 7:59, so almost the end of class. So next week we are going to be doing socialization. Socialization is a very big week. It is another week, unfortunately, where I will be talking a lot. So I'm sorry, you're going to be hearing my voice a lot. But I will try and throw in some cool little videos. If I can find some cool little examples of what we're going to be talking about. And yeah, that's socialization.
We can work on your place as well while we do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I will also talk to Jen about adding in some separation anxiety stuff, because I know that's one thing that Yeah,
Yes, okay.
exactly.
okay.
Oh, good. Rico too. Okay, awesome. Yeah. I knew it was for Bernie, but I'm glad Rico as well. All right. So yes, I will talk to Jen about adding some separation anxiety stuff in, as well as I think we wanted to do a little bit of potty training. Am I correct? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll add some potty training in just as a little bit of extra information. If you guys can make sure that you have either like a Kong or a Chew, kind of like last week, just because we will be talking a lot. If you guys can just have something just for them to do while Jen and I are giving our little spiel. But we will also be doing some training, I promise, with the puppies. I promise we will. But socialization is a little bit more of a talking week. But yeah, other than that, does anybody have any questions about this week? No. Oh, maybe no.
Just with the touch, what can we do to get the touch with a closed mouth?
Okay, so you can break it down into smaller pieces. So if we're moving forward with mouth open, then what I would do is does the mouth open right away? Is her mouth opening right away, or yeah, automatically, right?
She's just like, yeah.
Okay.
A little sharp.
Yeah.
I might try moving it around. The second that you get her to make any movements towards your hand with her closed mouth, yes, and reward.
Okay.
And then repeat it. So don't expect her to touch your hand, because some dogs can't right away. Sometimes we break it up smaller pieces. So you're looking for that one movement where she's moving with her mouth closed, and that's when you're going to say yes and treat. And then you'll move your hand just for her. I would move my hand a little bit so that she doesn't have time to just come in and write that and open her mouth. So you're just
Right.
going to move it, so like kind of like a jerky motion, until you get that movement with the closed mouth, and then really focus on reinforcing that, and eventually she will get it.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a good one to get, so it's worth working on.
Yeah. Especially with her, I'm sure she'll have fun with the movement eventually.
Oh yeah, she
Very
will. For sure, for sure.
Any other questions?
that.
Are we good for this week? We're good. All right. If you guys do think of anything else, Jen and I are always in the group, so we can always answer any questions that you guys have. And yeah, if not, then you guys are free to go. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we will see you guys next week.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.